Well, hello.
Well, hello.
We're back.
We are back.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Right?
I thought after the directions I was giving you to get here today,
No, well, yeah.
we would have started this a lot earlier.
Yes,
but
I know. They seemed very simple, but
Yes.
somehow I kind of get myself in different dimensions.
Yeah.
Like the way you described it was simple.
Yes.
But I found myself
Oh,
in
is
a
it
completely
right?
different
Just
suburb.
take a right and the first two left.
First two lefts.
Yeah.
You know, there are no two lefts.
No.
Only one left. And I've got the worst sense of direction, by the way.
I do recall that. I remember
Yes.
we would be on tour driving to a town, and you'd say, "Look, I've been to this town plenty of times before. Trust me." And we'd take a turn, a left turn, and we would just end up horribly lost.
And it's amazing you still trusted me.
I know, but that's what you would say to me. Go, I can't believe you're trusting me. Why would you even?
Yeah.
Why would
I
you even
mean,
listen to me?
You learn now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I used to be a cab driver.
Oh, yeah.
And I was the worst cab driver because I'd get lost. And this is years before GPS.
Yeah.
GPS would have saved my life. And you know,
So you had
saved
the
me a
direct, you had the... what
Yeah,
was
the
it?
book. You had to open a book.
What was it called? The
Gregory's.
Gregory's, yeah.
Bloody Gregory. If I see that guy, I'm going to punch his head in. Are you Gregory from the Gregory book? Yes. Straight away, man, I could not read it. I just couldn't get my head around it.
Yeah.
And I was, you know, so most enjoyable part of being a cab driver was like driving and listening to music and stuff. It's when people got in the cab that I
It'd
really...
be annoying.
Yeah, because suddenly it was all about them.
Yeah, where they want to go.
It's all about them. Take me to... Oh, shut up. But anyway...
So I remember you telling me you had some interesting experiences as a cab driver.
I had some very interesting experiences, but I wanted to talk to you about the coronavirus firstly.
Okay.
Because, you know, you notice I'm clean shaven.
I noticed. I was going to bring that up. This is the first podcast that you've been back to normal Saleh.
As you know, I was growing my beard.
Yes. Until the next gig.
No. Until this virus lifts. I said, this is a protest. I'm going to keep growing my beard until there is no more COVID-19.
Right.
And then last night I was woken up by a vision. I think maybe it was Jesus, but now I don't think it was Jesus because I shaved and I thought, you know, it's all over. Everyone's cured.
Really?
It's fantastic. It turned out it wasn't Jesus. It's just that I had too much cheese before I went to bed. And
It was Jesus.
It was cheeses. Jesus Christ. Two different types of cheeses. And they say you're not meant to eat cheese and go to bed because that's where I had all these visions, but it turned out to be bullshit.
I wonder if that preacher, the guy that's preaching COVID, he may have had, too much camembert before bed.
Yeah. Why doesn't he get COVID-19? And it'd be great. If God wanted to prove you're an idiot, you're obviously a charlatan.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you COVID-19.
But there'd be some spin on it. It's like, I am like Jesus,
I'm a martyr.
taking the COVID from the world upon myself.
You're right.
They're good at
as long as
spinning.
he dies.
Well,
it's okay.
But then he would be a martyr.
He'd be a martyr. And then his sons would take over the business.
Yes.
And say, we need more Lear jets.
Yes. And
it's for Jesus.
Yeah. And on the third day, the business rose.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The business went up.
Yeah, the stocks went up.
Anyway, so...
so do you feel a lot better now that you're clean shaven?
It's the same. Because I don't have to show myself to anyone.
No.
I don't have to... which is a good thing, most people are saying. But I miss traveling, actually. With you, we traveled a lot.
Yeah.
I miss going to different towns. I miss meeting, weirdos.
Mm-hmm.
Weirdos, strange people.
A lot of strange people out there.
Yeah.
A lot of weirdos out there.
Yeah, I told you once...
But you sent, just before we talk about specific weirdos, you sent me some conspiracy theories during the week.
So are you implying that I'm one of the weirdos?
No.
It sounds like that.
I'm not saying that.
But it sounds like that.
Now, one of them you sent to me.
Yes.
Was I watched it, the female, the Indian lady.
Yeah.
That was very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, very well informed lady. What was her name?
I can't remember. It was Shiva something.
Yeah.
Shiva.
Yeah.
And she's a professor of nuclear physics.
Yes, and she's talking about GMOs.
And she's talking about that Bill Gates is not as nice as he seems. He's a psychopath, and he's got plans for the whole world. He wants to vaccinate the whole world so he can control them, and that seems reasonable.
Is that what she? I didn't get that from her interview. But is that what she said in the past? Or?
Well, that's what I got from the interview. But you can
you insert your own theories into.
Well, no, I sent you the good one. This one was taken off YouTube and
Oh, that interview of hers was taken off YouTube.
Yeah, everything that's against the mainstream.
Hang on, I watched that on YouTube.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh well, maybe. No, I was thinking of something else. Anyway, look, maybe
It's like, damn, there's too many.
I'm in on this conspiracy.
I like how easy your conspiracy theories crumble. Where it's just one remark.
Well, no, I don't know about her, but I did send you the long one with David Icke.
Oh, with David Icke.
Now that was taken off YouTube, and it was taken off Twitter. They've basically.
Now, he was banned from his last speaking engagement. You
to
had
Australia.
You had tickets.
That's right. I wanted to go see him. If you don't know David Icke, look him up. He's a bit crazy, but just listen to what he says and then make up your own mind. I think he makes a lot of sense.
Here's the thing with Ike, right? I was on the road with Arj, and he likes listening to Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
It's supposedly the most popular radio show in America, Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
And they had an interview with Dave Icke, and it was like a 2-hour interview or something.
Yeah.
And I found it fascinating. He was talking about the whole economic setup in America and the global economic situation after the GFC.
Yes.
And he's saying the real people that are pulling strings behind closed doors within the world economy.
All makes sense.
All making sense. I'm like, I'm with you. This is fascinating. I'm following this.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he starts talking about these people behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That they're lizards, they're reptile people.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I for me,
you found that too hard to accept.
Yeah, I can take the jump to what he was saying about the people behind closed doors pulling the strings, but then those people being lizards.
Yeah. You won't take that.
It's hard for me to take that jump.
Well, you should watch this interview. Well, I don't know about the lizard thing. That's where he loses most people. Right.
There was that interview too with the some lord from.
There was a guy on the BBC.
Yeah.
And because he basically says the people in power, like royal family, the bank owners, people who because royalty used to have a lot of power in the past.
Right.
They don't have as much power anymore. So these people who have bloodlines have gone into the banking industry. They've gone into weapons construction.
So they've diversified.
Yeah, exactly. And anyway, this guy's huge in the UK.
Yeah.
David Icke. He sold out Wembley Stadium, so he's as popular as the Rolling Stones.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
But he goes in for 10 hours. They go for 2.
That's value for money.
I reckon, right? Anyway, there was this BBC guy talking to some member of parliament, and this old dude, and the interviewer is saying, look, perhaps we should keep an open mind. This guy's attracting 20,000 people at Wembley Stadium.
Let's hear what he has to say.
Yeah, and this Lord such and such interrupts him. He says, I will not keep an open mind. The Queen is not a lizard. Sounded funny.
I would imagine that guy never thought those words would be coming out of his mouth.
The Queen is not a lizard. Well, we don't know. You've got to be open to any possibility, right?
Do you think the Queen's a lizard?
Well, look... as you know, I grew up as a Coptic Orthodox. I'm not anymore. I'm not religious anymore because I started doing this thing called thinking. And
would you say that you're agnostic?
Yeah.
Would that be a better way of describing?
Well, other people have described me as fuckwit, but I prefer agnostic.
But when it comes to the idea of a god...
Look, you talk about I'm open to anything, right? You have to be open to any possibility, because I don't know anything, right?
Sure.
That's the intelligent way to approach life.
Sure.
Every religion, Eastern or Western, Christian, Muslim, every religion in its creation story had either a snake or a dragon or some sort of reptile. Every single one.
Well, why not just call them snake people then?
Well, you can call them whatever you want.
Oh.
You can call them psychopaths.
Yeah.
So if you replace the word reptilian with psychopath, it's the same thing, because they have no empathy.
You're saying that all reptiles are psychopaths?
Yeah. I say like Donald Trump. He's a lizard.
Yeah.
For sure.
But hang on, is that...
Cariann Kinley. I reckon she's a lizard.
Really?
Yeah.
But,
Tony Abbott, can you tell me...
Okay.
Can you look at Tony Abbott and say he's not reptilian?
He does have physical features that
He's
would resemble...
reptilian, man.
Yeah.
He is a lizard. And, you know,
But hang on, I just want to get back to the point you just said that all reptiles are psychopaths.
no, I'm joking. I don't know, but
hang
know.
on, where does the connection come there? I was just going with you on this, but
No.
I'm failing to see the
No.
connection.
Look,
yes, psychopaths, yes.
Psychopaths.
But in terms of reptiles, hang on.
But you know that this is scientifically a fact that we all have a reptilian part of our brain.
Sure, from the evolutionary process.
Now, this guy believes, I don't know, right, that certain people, the most powerful people, their brain is predominantly, if not entirely, reptilian.
Right.
So whether you, whatever term you want to use, right? So that makes sense. That's plausible.
So that's why you see these politicians in the middle of the road heating up in summer.
Yeah.
In the bitumen.
You know, with long tongues, eating flies and stuff. You know, they don't show it. They don't show that on the news.
Footage, yeah.
But you know, look, I'm open to anything. But he says, more importantly, forget the lizards. People get caught up with the lizard.
But that's why I think talk about everything else and. Maybe leave the lizards for another conversation. So I'm with you, and then the lizards, I'm like, you took a left on.
You're not alone. He loses most people when he says these lizard people. Because, okay, by the way, just quickly, last word on the lizards.
Right. Okay.
There's if you're a Christian and you believe in that the Bible is the inspired word of God, I don't, because as I said, I started doing this thing called thinking.
Yeah.
But there's a part in the Bible where these people came from heaven, these beings, and had sex with humans. So there's a hybrid, and that's in the Bible. Check it out. Seriously, check it out. I don't know exactly where. Yeah, somewhere. So it's a big book, you know, page 1007.
But getting onto the lizards thing, I remember in school, Rickard Moen. He put up his hand and he asked our divinity teacher. He said, "Sir, why aren't there any dinosaurs in the Bible?" He said, "Get out." Threw him out of class. That was his answer.
Yeah. Well,
which is a plausible question, and that would be connected to the whole lizard thing. Like, I'm just trying to find a
no. When he says lizard, he doesn't mean he means a totally different entity.
So an
alien, yes,
an alien.
Yes.
So when
alien to us.
So when he's saying that the queen is a lizard, he's really saying the queen is an alien.
She's reptilian. She's a hybrid of she's half human, half reptile. Right. Or you can say an entity. Every religion has a name for them.
Right.
You know.
And these are all talks online that he's given, right?
Oh, he's given that. But forget the lizards now.
Okay.
Forgetting the
lizards.
What he's saying about the coronavirus is that it's fake. It's not real. It's a conspiracy, a worldwide conspiracy that only the 1%, the powerful people, are in on, and it's to control the masses, population-wise, and to control them, physically know where they are, keep the whole distancing thing.
So my question to this, hearing this for the first time, is: are all the doctors and scientists and nurses and medical people throughout the world are in on this conspiracy?
No, they're not in on it. They don't know that they're in on it. It's like the moon landing, right? People say, "Oh, well, how could they fake the moon with all these thousands of people working on it?" Well, all those thousands of people working on it.
But that's been proven, though. I've heard that was proven. I haven't seen the documentary about the fact that it was
Look,
fake.
I don't know.
But hang on. So how are they unknowingly involved in this giant conspiracy?
Well,
like if you've got nurses dying in New York and dying, all over the world, in China, and how is that not really well, how does he explain that?
Well, this is where his argument falls to the ground. I was just hoping you wouldn't bring that up. Look, I'm open to anything. I wouldn't put.
Is this an interview you saw with him?
Yeah.
So
3 hours interview.
3-hour interview. So was that question brought up? You didn't watch the whole interview.
No, I did. I watched the whole thing. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Well, he says he
obviously hadn't, because that's like, for me, that was the first question that came to mind. Well, so that was clearly asked within a 3-hour interview, right? Yeah. So what was his answer to that?
Well, he says you have to look at the statistics. Like, a lot of people that are supposedly dying of this disease are in their 80s and 90s. A lot of people, it's been proven that people die of other things, other conditions, but they say, I'll just say it's COVID-19. So they add to the statistics. But you know,
But what about the younger people? Like, there's younger like nurses and doctors that have died who are in their 40s, and
yeah.
what about?
Maybe they got the key to the medicine cabinet, and they took some fentanyl or something. I don't know. I'm just.
Yeah, no, I know,
I don't
but
know.
you're just passing on the message. But
I'm just passing on the
I'm
message.
just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because
Look, I wouldn't put it past them, if they want to, because they want to, the whole, that
hand sanitizer.
not the hand sanitizer, the government app.
Oh
they wanna
yeah,
do.
I don't buy into that.
You don't buy into that?
No, well, it's what we're living in an Orwellian bloody society. Then.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. It's worse than Orwellian, because everything that if you read that novel,
1984.
yes,
Yes.
Everything has come true.
Mhm.
Everything, including the TVs filming you.
Mhm.
Everyone's watching everyone else.
Yeah. Sure.
You
And
know,
now
the thought police.
And they're having these drones that they want to bring in that
Yes.
do thermal photography on people to
That's-
see what they're whether they have the infection. Supposedly, that's what
Yeah.
it's for.
No,
but,
no, yeah.
But yeah, the fact that people
It's about
would will-
surveillance.
Yeah,
It's about control.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I think that is it's very questionable when
Yeah.
people start willing. But then again, people are willingly doing that on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter.
That's right.
Giving away their locations, giving
Yes.
away their
Their interests, their plans.
So this is like the perfect, target marketing for.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's been
right.
proven that Facebook have sold off a lot of information.
Of course they have,
was it
yeah,
the
for the
Boston
election.
Analytics or what was the
yeah,
what was that whole
Analytica. What is it? Something Analytica.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Just get the gist. I'm going to sound really stupid. People listening to us.
Sorry,
They don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
flimsy theories
Yes.
that are debunked with one question.
Yes.
And they don't even know the origins of a lot of these.
Look, you have to be. I don't know. I mean.
But you often say I don't know, but I think that is one of the most intelligent places to come from.
Yes.
Because if you look at all the great thinkers throughout history, like
David Icke.
Socrates.
Socrates. Sorry, yeah.
said it best. All I know is I know nothing at all.
Yeah.
And that was. Yeah.
It's a friend of mine, Trevor Crook, does this. He goes, read all his works. And in the last page, he read, the only thing I really know is I know nothing. I wish you read that on the first fucking page.
That's a great bit.
Yeah. Except Socrates never wrote anything.
True.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, why let facts get in the way of a good
laugh.
joke? Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
you actually met David Icke.
Yeah, I did.
You sent me. I remember. You sent me a photo of you and him together.
Me in Adelaide.
So how did that come about?
I was doing a radio interview, and I came out, and he had that morning had done an interview with Carl Stevanovic, and Carl Stevanovic, without knowing anything, just berated him and called him a rip-off or whatever, and I had to go and say I apologize for Carl Stevanovic, even though I'm not really connected with him, but
you apologized on his
behalf of the country.
Right.
I would like to apologize. And then he went on Cariann Kinley, and what a dumb bitch that woman is.
What happened?
Man, she goes, this is the truth, right? And this is, look, I don't know if he's crazy or not, but you have to be informed before you disagree with someone. At least know what they're saying.
Right.
But the beginning of the interview, this is true. You can check this. She goes, she said, I have no idea who David Icke is. I've never heard of him, right? And then anyway, at the end of the interview, she says, well, she does this cliched line about, well, I don't agree with what you say, but I agree. I uphold the right for you to say it, right? And then he said, but you don't know what I say. You don't know. And she goes, yeah. Well, you said in the beginning of the interview you never heard of me. Yeah. How could you disagree with what I say? And she goes, oh, anyway, we'll go to a commercial break.
Let's go to Moira.
Man. Cariann Kinley. Just changing the subject a little bit, when we had our movie, You Can't Stop the Murders, who, a few people saw.
Yeah, that was a great film. It was very funny.
Yeah. Mostly the cast and crew watched it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I remember I saw you had a Q&A screening with
Margaret Pomeranz
at the Valhalla.
Yes, that's right.
There was you, Gary Eck, Anthony Murr, and Anthony directed.
He directed it,
and you all co-wrote
it. Yeah, and so we were promoting the film, and we went on her show, the early morning show, with Moira. Remember that show she had, and and she's going, I love Australian films. I want to be supportive. Now, we were unlucky because we opened the same night as Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 was opening, and it was the biggest film in the world, and You Can't Stop the Murders, right? And she said, I said, would you come to our premiere? She goes, of course, yeah. I'm always happy to support Australian movies. Anyway, we go to the premiere, and she's there to our surprise.
Right,
she's dressed up, and he's going. People are taking photos of Cariann Kinley and all this, and went up there and said, "Oh, hi, Cariann," and she couldn't remember me. And I said, "Thanks for coming to Anyway, can you guess what's going to happen? The premieres was on simultaneously, and as soon as the Spider-Man 3 started, guess where Cariann was going?
Oh, what?
Hi! I'm going, hi, Toby.
Just looping around. Yeah.
Then it just went straight into the cinema. It just completely, she didn't even know that our premiere was on. I love Australian films.
Yeah.
I love to support them. Yes, anyway. So there you go, hypocrisy.
But I remember Margaret Pomeranz. She was very positive about your film.
Yeah.
I remember
it was a funny film, but
it was.
I thought some of it worked really well. But it's timing. And
actually, a friend of mine who's a cop, he saw the first podcast and he messaged me saying that Akmal, I loved his film.
Oh yeah.
So there you go. I'm passing on the message.
I think he
from my
did the
friend
sound.
Anthony.
He did the sound.
Yeah.
But it's
Now, Saleh, you have some conspiracy theories of your own. Last week on the podcast, you brought up a conspiracy theory to me.
Yeah, I've held on to this for many years.
Yes.
I was reluctant to bring this up with you because I don't know how you would feel.
And you picked the podcast last week to bring this up.
Well, I feel more comfortable in front of an audience.
Yes.
Assuming there's an audience. But I've always suspected that your mum had an affair about 40 years ago because you look very different to your brother and your dad, who both look identical. Like your brother looks a young version of your dad,
right?
And then there's you, who look nothing like. So I suspect that your mum had an affair with a handsome, tall man with a full head of hair.
Really?
Yeah, because both your dad and
you
your
were saying last week you thought it might have been Eric Banner's dad.
Might have been Eric Banner's dad.
Yeah.
Someone of good genetic.
Now, we tried to call my mum last week.
Yeah.
Didn't work out. She didn't take the call.
Because she's with someone. That's why. She's busy.
She's still with him.
Yeah.
So I thought we'd give her a call today and get to the bottom of this.
Let's clear this up.
You want to clear this up?
Yeah. Let's for once and for all.
Let me get this. Here, put this on because we're doing this on a podcast.
What's your mum's first name?
Oh, come on. How many times have you met her?
A lot. But you know me.
Wow. You just know her as Joel's mum.
Joel's mum, yeah. Wow. Mrs. Joel.
Anne.
Hello, Mrs. Anne. Mrs. Joel.
Anne Osborne.
All right, Anne Osborne, but not Osborne anymore. She's Anne Banner. Anne Banner.
Let's give this a go.
Had an affair with Eric Banner's dad.
See if this works.
Yeah.
See if it goes through. Let me have a look here.
Yeah. It's very hard to get her on the phone. I wonder why.
Oh, it's ringing.
Hello.
Hello, Mum.
Hi. Hello,
Hi.
Charles.
Hi, Mum.
I'm here with Akmal.
I can hear people in the background.
I'm at school, darling. I'm at school.
Are you at school?
I'm at school.
I thought you'd be finished school by now.
No, we've just come back from the Oval.
Oh, good.
Okay,
good.
yeah. How are you, Anne?
Oh, darling, I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Listen, I have a very sensitive...
Kate, how's Kate?
She's changing the subject. Have you noticed? She's really well. Thanks, Anne. No. That's okay. Now, I've just got a question to ask.
No, I just got to let you know, Akmal's asked me a question, which I think you can only answer, and he's so that's why we're calling you now.
We're not here judging you, Anne.
He was 10.5 pounds because when Joel was born, he was a big baby because I ate too many cakes.
Yes. Oh, ate too many cakes. Right.
Yeah.
So
and my doctor said I had a little sumo wrestler.
All right. Well, there you go.
Wow, you had a sumo wrestler as well as Joel.
Yeah, yeah.
So Akmal, what?
So look, I'm going to ask you this. Don't be offended, but just
No.
answer. Look, this is completely. You're anonymous as far as people listening to this are concerned. I'm saying because there's a big difference between your other son and your former husband and Joel, who's a very handsome man. Let's be honest. I've toured with him where girls were chasing him, and I was the star of the show. They weren't interested in me.
Okay.
And so I'm going to ask you, Anne, did you 40 years ago have an affair with Eric Bana's dad?
No. Worse luck.
No.
No.
Someone resembling Eric
No.
Bana? Someone?
Now listen, Mum. His theory is
Think
that
hard.
His theory, Akmal's conspiracy theory here is that perhaps had an affair.
We're not judging you.
Well,
Oh, no,
Akmal
it's
is.
okay. It's funny you should say that because my best friend in the whole world
Yes.
is Spanish and so beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Louis Chacon.
Yes.
He's godfather to both my
That was my godfather.
Godfather, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
How-
when Joel was born, everyone says, and when he was growing, oh, he looks European. He
Yes.
looks European.
Oh, you're digging a deeper hole
The
here.
plot is thickening. Hang on, but
And so, is there any truth to these
No.
rumors?
hang on, Lewis was gay.
I know, and he was my best friend. No,
Yeah.
Richard is
No,
the father. He was
Richard's
the
the
love
father.
of my life. He was the love of my life.
Oh, yes. Well,
Well,
Not
what do
now.
you? What,
not now. No. What were you
But-
thinking, Anne? God.
No, Johnny and Archie, my two dogs, are the love now.
Oh, good. Well, that's really great.
Well, what do you? Well, how do you feel now? Has this squashed that theory, or?
Well, look. To be honest, I think Anne's hiding something. I can just tell in her voice, but that's okay because we're not here judging. We're not here to judge. But look, he's a wonderful man that you've given birth to. 40 years later,
No. He's 41 now.
he's 41, and we're not here. We're not concerned with who the father is. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. He's here now, and he's an individual, and but well done, and good job on Joel, and whoever the father is.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay, well, I better go now.
Oh,
Any more questions?
Any more questions?
No, I think that's it. But can we get some blood off you, like DNA sample, or some spit?
Mum is clearly my mother. Why do you need DNA from my mum?
Well, we don't know that. We don't know if she's your mother.
Of course, she's my mum.
Oh, yeah, of course. But
Oh,
But-
no, there's more.
But
All right.
but
But what?
come on, out with it.
most babies look alike, and when Ben was born
Yes.
in the Royal North Shore,
My brother Ben.
God,
Yes.
over 46 years ago, you weren't allowed to bring them back into the room. You had to go
Oh, yeah.
out to the nursery and feed them, and I went out and I brought this baby back, and lady came after me. You got the wrong baby. And but I was
It was Chinese, right?
I was feeding a little Chinese baby.
Oh, wow.
I shared a room with her. That was So yeah.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
No,
So you breastfed someone else's baby.
he
That's-
seemed to be enjoying it too, and he was such a cuddly little fellow.
Oh, yes.
Yes, darling, that's all.
Well, thank you, Anne. Thank you for sharing that. That's
No,
you've left
you're
us with a
so
lot to you've left us with a lot to think about.
Yes.
You've left us with more questions than answers. Really, but
okay.
that's all
sorry.
right.
Well,
No.
Thanks, Mum. We'll let you get back to the classroom now with
Love
the kids.
you.
Okay, Mum. Love you.
Love you too.
Love to Kate.
Yeah.
Yes,
America.
Yes.
Bye,
Okay.
bye.
Okay.
Bye.
love you. Bye. Well, has that solved the
I think I
situation?
was really not expecting your mum to say I breastfed a Chinese baby. And that's really opened the
I know.
doors
I was not expecting that either.
for any Have you heard that story before?
No, I've never heard that.
Well, there you go,
She
huh?
mistook my brother Ben for a Chinese baby.
A Chinese baby. So,
Wow.
you know, I think that she probably had a baby with your dad and thought, no, I think this one's better.
Yeah. I think this
This one
little
seems to be calmer.
Yes.
And I'll take this one instead. Anything could happen. Look, it doesn't matter.
So so Lewis was my mum's best friend.
Yes.
When they were before my parents met.
Yes.
And they continued to be best friends.
Yes.
And I remember I used to go and stay
With benefits.
No, just friends.
Oh, just friends with no benefits.
And I would go and stay the weekend in Paddington at Lewis and his husband Richard.
Oh yeah,
place.
Richard. And your dad's name is?
Richard.
Aha.
Yeah.
This is all becoming very convoluted. Maybe we should get off this topic.
But I have actually I do have a photo of Lewis on here, and this so that you can at least see what he looks like, and perhaps this will put an end to the This was my mum on her wedding day. Yes. And there's Lewis there.
Oh, there's Lewis. Yes, he looks like Darryl Summers, doesn't he? A young Darryl, a gay Darryl Summers. Well,
there you go.
No, that's good. That's good. That's interesting.
So that's who you would be supposing the person was, which clearly isn't me, right?
Well, of course that's him.
Yeah, but
you.
Yeah, but in terms of the look,
well, it's possible. I'm just saying anything's possible. Look, you got to be open to any possibility, right? Like A, coronavirus is a myth. B, your dad is Eric Bana's dad.
And you don't think my dad looked like me when I was younger?
No.
Look, here's my dad when he was younger. What do you reckon? Is there a similarity?
He's trying to do an Errol Flynn there. no similarity whatsoever.
No similarity there. Nothing.
No.
What about my grandfather?
Your grandfather.
He was tall.
Oh,
he was a tall guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a picture of him before he went off to the war, in the Second World War.
Before he went to the war. Is it before and after shot?
Yeah, you don't want to see the after shot.
Wow, where is his arms are missing?
So do you see a similarity between... Because
yes, a little bit,
you said that my height was the thing that was in question, but my grandfather was a tall guy.
Yes, he was.
So...
Well, yes, you convinced me now. Yes.
Okay, so we can put that conspiracy theory to rest.
Put it in the cupboard for later.
Okay.
We'll pull it out at another time.
At a future date.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. We've solved that.
We've solved that. You see, that's a good thing about podcasts. We
can get to the bottom of it. We
cover the important things. Yes, we deal with the big questions here. Mm-hmm. And then we don't answer them, and we talk shit.
No, we got off on a tangent about conspiracy theories.
Yes, we did.
You were talking about weirdos before, and saying that you felt that you were
a magnet for
weirdos.
I've always, that. We've travelled together. I'm always attracting the crazies. This guy,
from a young age, though, right?
Well, when I was young, people wanted to have sex with me. Men wanted to have sex with me. That's stopped now.
And how did you know that? Did they make moves on you? Or?
Yeah, they say, "Can we have sex with you?"
Right. They would come up and ask you that.
Yeah, one guy did. It happened a lot. It happened a lot of times. I tell you, my first experience was I was very naive. I was not like when I was 17 and I wanted to get a job because I knew that school was going to be a disaster. Even though I attended, just half the time I attended, I didn't even attend some of the exams because I thought, what's the point? I don't know anything. Yeah. I'm just going to sit there for 5 hours.
Yeah, sure.
And I've lost my pen. So, there's no chance. And so I put an ad in the Sydney Morning Herald years and years and years ago. And I this is how I worded the ad. This is how naive I was. True story. I said, work wanted, strong 17-year-old willing to do anything. That's how I worded the ad, right? And
anything.
And the weirdest calls I got.
I would imagine anything.
Well, I didn't, I was 17 and I was... I was a Coptic Orthodox altar boy.
Yeah.
I had no idea what that could have meant.
Yeah.
Said anything, meaning, Anyway, this guy rings up. This is one of the people... I got lots of weird calls, but this is the one I remember the most. This guy goes, yeah, mate, I saw your ad in the paper. I said, yeah, great. He goes, I said, do you have work for me? He goes, yeah, I got some gardening work for you. You like gardening work? I said, yeah, I love gardening work. Then he paused for a while. You can hear him breathing heavily, and he goes, first tell me, have you got a big cock? And I swear to you, this was my response. I said, what kind of a garden do you have? I've got a shovel that could be more useful. But my brain just went, what's that got to do with gardening? I couldn't understand it. Then, later on,
did
I
it
went.
dawn on you, like eventually, hang on, maybe I should change the wording of this ad?
It dawned on me years later.
Right.
Because I'm very slow.
And did you end up ever getting a job, so to speak, from that?
No, I had sex with the guy, yeah.
Right, yeah.
And which was much better than gardening.
Yeah.
No, never. I just hung up. And there was lots of ones like that. I was with an ex-girlfriend of mine in Singapore. And we were just in transit, and this guy comes up to me.
What was this, at the airport?
At the airport,
Okay.
we didn't even go through customs. We were just waiting in transit, and he comes up. He goes, "He's an Indian guy." He said, "Hello, you look nice." I said, "Thanks." He goes, "I like your pants." I said, "My pants? Oh, thanks." He goes, "What are they cotton?" I said, "Oh, I'm not sure. Probably. I don't know what they are. I've never really thought about it."
Yeah.
He goes, "I think they are cotton." I said, "Okay, great."
Thanks.
And he goes, "Can I look at them?" I said, "Sure." He said, "You can look at them all you want." And he starts pushing me into the toilet. He goes, "Come, son." I said, "What?" He goes, "I want to look at your pants." I said, no, you can look at them here, not in the toilet.
Yeah.
No, you can just look at them here. Or is there better lighting in the toilet, or what's going on? And he got really embarrassed, started reading his book again after that.
Oh.
That used to happen all the time. That doesn't happen anymore. I don't know why. I don't know. I feel like
it's an age thing.
yeah.
I remember when I was younger, I had a kind of similar experience when I was younger, washing my car at Car Lovers.
Oh, yeah, Lovers. There you go. You're asking for it there.
No, I'm washing the car, and it was an Indian gentleman that time too. He
Maybe the
came
same
up.
guy.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
He gets around.
Is that cotton?
Yeah, he came up and he said, "I like your automobile." And I said, "Oh, yeah,
Is
thanks."
it cotton?
And I said, "Oh," and it wasn't even that. It was an old Mercedes.
Oh, yeah,
not even
yeah,
impressive, you know.
yeah.
But
No,
maybe me with the,
it meant your exhaust
the soap
pipe.
suds or something got him going. You
like
know?
a porno.
Yeah. And he
Did
says,
you bend over, show him some cleavage?
he says to me, he goes, I too have the same car. Beautiful, beautiful car. And I said, "Yeah, it's
nice.
all right."
Yeah.
And he said, he gave me his card and said, "That is my card." And he says, "Perhaps you want to call me sometime and discuss cars and automobiles."
Yeah, right.
Thinking, I went, "Oh, okay, thanks."
Yeah.
And so I just went back to washing it, and then he stepped in a little closer and he goes, "My office is just up the road. We could just have a chat there. It's a little more quiet there."
That car.
And I looked at him like, "Hang on."
Right,
And he goes,
hang on.
"Oh," he goes, "seeing as we are both automobile enthusiasts."
Yeah, right.
All right,
Let me
mate.
show you the back of my Mitsubishi Magna. It is very comfortable.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was...
Yeah, it used to happen a lot to me. I'm old and lizard-looking.
yeah,
now.
it's weird when you're younger, you tend to have, people are more...
But never a girl, right?
Yeah.
No.
What's
with that?
Yeah, what the hell's
What's
with that?
going on with that?
I was at a magic convention once. I was like...
Yeah, if a girl came up to me in Singapore and said, "Are these cotton?"
Yeah, you go,
Let me.
uh,
Why don't you take
you
a
tell
closer
me.
look?
Yeah.
Let me
You
just
tell
take them
me.
off for you. There you go. You do.
A lot more willing.
But it's life is like that, isn't it?
Because I had this magic convention that I went to. I was 16 or 17.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
down in Melbourne.
Oh yeah.
And it
Not the
was...
So that reminds me of that joke. Look, no hands.
Oh yeah, ta-da!
was that the?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I was going down to it was at the Melbourne Casino. This is back in the mid '90s, and it was my first solo trip down to Melbourne by myself, going down there to stay a few nights and go to this magic convention. Now the accommodation I got was up the road, up like Flinders Street, away from the casino. It was in some like dodgy like hostel.
I think I've stayed there.
But I had my own room there, so it was all right.
Oh yeah.
And I was, went to, and basically a magic convention is a heap of magicians from all over the country come together, and hundreds of them, and there's...
And have sex with Joel.
No. And magicians from
Like a
overseas.
convention.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
magicians,
know, yeah.
magicians from overseas come in and they do lectures, they do performances. And so there was this magician from America, and he's well known within the magic community.
Yes.
And he does like sort of comedy magic, a little bit of comedy magic
Yes,
and
yes.
what have you. And he seemed to like take a shine to me, like in a nice way. He's being very conversational with me, like at lunch, and he was like I was asking him a lot of questions about magic, and he was very forthcoming with the
I bet
information.
he was. Oh,
and then I
yes.
remember we were sitting around with a group of people, and he said, "You know what? I'm basing the success of this whole magic convention on what Joel here thinks." And someone went, "Oh wow, that's because this guy's like the top guy at the convention."
Yeah.
And so later on, I'm chatting with him. He goes, "Yeah, so you live here in Melbourne?" And I said, "No, I live with my mum back in Sydney, but just came down here for the convention." He goes, "Oh, you're staying with friends, are you?" And I said, "No, I'm actually just at a this little hotel,
alone and
like
lonely.
a hostel up the road." And he goes, "You know what? They put me up here at the Crown Casino. Beautiful room. There's room there. It saves you having to go. I know it's dangerous walking back up Flinders Street late at night. You could just stay here in my room. That's no big deal.
No big deal.
If you want to stay with me." I went, "Oh, thanks. Yeah, let me think about it." Yeah, and I called up Jonathan, the amazing Jonathan, and told him about the convention. I said, "Oh, and by the way, this guy's headlining it." He goes, "Right." I said, "Yeah," and he's
invited me to his room.
Yeah, and Jonathan just went, "Run! Do not." He goes, "You promised me, Joel, do not stay in a hotel room with this guy." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "This guy is notorious for,
making his penis disappear." What?
So
you like birds?
So afterwards, later on that day, this magician came up to me and said, "So, you want to come stay?" I said, "Oh, I've already paid for the hotel room. So at the
Why
hostel.
don't you come stay with me?"
And I said, "I'm just going to stay there."
Yeah.
Ignored me the rest of the convention.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. So years later.
And his name was?
No, I don't want to be naming, because then people are going to hear this and
name and shame.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
All right.
I'll probably though he is known within the community. Like, I'm not the first one that this is. Like a friend of Erica, my fiance Erica, her one of her best friends is like infuriated by this guy and wants to wants to bring
David Copperfield.
bring him to justice. No.
Let's just say it's David.
No, it's not David.
Let's just implicate him.
Years later,
he's rich. He might get some money out of him.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of lawyers too. No, well, it was not David Copperfield. He likes women. He's had his own trouble in that regard.
Good.
FBI investigations and stuff.
Has he?
But I've been to David's house. It's an incredible house.
And he was there?
Yeah, David was there.
Oh, okay. Tell me more.
Well, it was for the documentary about Amazing Jonathan.
I know. I'm just trying to be a smart ass.
But it was unbelievable. This house is the most expensive house in Las Vegas.
Right.
And it's got the biggest door I've ever seen. It's incredible. These doors that open up.
You need big doors.
Yeah, massive.
But are you sure they're real or maybe an illusion? But he makes an elephant appear on stage.
Yeah.
He can make a big door appear.
Of course. Or disappear.
Yeah, or disappear.
But his house is like, it's really tastefully done. Like, he's got good taste. But it's like a museum. Like, he's got like Houdini's original straitjacket and all these artifacts from the history of magic around the house.
Yeah.
And then he's got this, in the lounge room, he's got this massive Steinway concert grand piano.
Yeah.
And after the interview, I noticed the piano. I said to him, I said, "Do you play?" And he just kind of looked at me and then walked off. I was like, "Oh my God, I've offended David."
Yeah.
But then he came back with an iPad, and he goes, "Check this out." Presses some buttons on the iPad, and then it starts playing the song "The Lady Is a Tramp."
Oh yeah.
And the piano's playing by itself. But then Frank Sinatra's voice is coming out of the piano, singing the song.
Oh, yeah.
And then
why didn't you just buy a CD player? That would have been a lot cheaper.
Yeah, but it's not as impressive with a few $100,000 piano,
Just wants to impress you with
it. And then he goes like this. He goes and walks off.
Yeah.
But then he goes like this with his hand.
Yeah. Now remember, we're on podcast here. You have to explain what you're doing with your hand. Because based on the previous story, and he goes like this with his hand.
No, he signaled with his hand to follow him, right?
Oh, I see.
And then I thought, but then he just walked off, and I thought, what does he mean for me to follow him? So I walk up and notice him walking down this long hallway.
Oh yeah.
And then he walks into a doorway, and then it was kind of like The Simpsons. Like his head pops back up, and he's like this, and so I take off after him. we go into this other room. There's another grand piano in the room playing the same song at the other end of the house, in tune with the other.
That's fantastic.
The other piano. So.
See, some people just have too much money, and they should, like I would not feel guilty if someone robbed him.
Yeah.
Of one of his pianos or something, and fed some
Man,
people.
that would be hard to rob someone of a piano, a grand piano.
It's
Like
not with that attitude. If you planned it properly.
Well, you need like 4 guys to pick up a concert grand piano, and then what are you going to put? Everyone's going to see the van that you turn up in.
Well, you got to be creative, like David Copperfield.
Well, how would you steal a piano?
Have one of those, bit of material and go, gone.
Yeah.
But if someone did rob him, I would encourage that.
Yeah.
Someone who's got that much money that he can have, that's basically a $200,000 CD player.
Okay, Saleh.
Yes.
Let's talk about your.
No. Let's not get into that.
Hang on, but you know what I'm going to say.
No, I know you're going to say. But
everyone listening doesn't know what we're going to say. You had a hi-fi system that was probably worth more than his Steinway concert
than my
grand.
entire house.
You could have bought a house with that. So.
Because I wasn't breastfed as a child.
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
If only your mum had picked me up in the
Would have been
hospital.
perfect.
Yeah, she went for a Chinese instead of a North African. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, you want to? You're done with this conversation?
No. I think
we're like, let's wrap this thing
because
up.
then the next one we could cover better topics.
Next week. All right. Well, then,
next week. Yeah.
All right. Well, then
we can just put it in. How long is that?
This podcast's unedited. Usually we keep a time code, but we used your phone today.
It's not working.
And your phone, you didn't put the screen
Look,
saver on.
I have a thing with technology. I destroy technology because I think I'm part magnetic or something.
Yes.
And so every bit of technology I come in contact with, and you take it to a person to get it fixed, no matter what the technology is, they go, mate, I've never seen this before. Oh, how did you do that? I didn't do anything. Oh, right, mate, this thing's gone.
Remember the guy that brought the magnet in and tried to destroy your hi-fi system?
My expensive
your
hi-fi
neighbor
system, yes.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of stories.
Unbelievable.
A lot of stories, Joel, but we don't, there's only...
There's more weirdo stories that you have too.
To be continued.
Yeah, you want to continue that on another day?
I think let's have an entire episode devoted to weirdos. We've covered a few weirdos.
This is like chapter 1 of the weirdos.
Is that Cotton? And
is
the
that
guy
Cotton?
going come to I'll show you a special magic trick. Look, no hands.
Yeah, the magician.
You
you in the Sydney Morning Herald advertising.
Yes, I got some gardening work for you. Yeah, right. Bit of a let's plant that seed. Not in me, buddy. I think I hope we didn't offend your mum, by the way.
No. Well, one, you supposing that she had an affair, so that she's a cheater.
What cheater? I've met your dad. I would cheat on your dad. Dad's a nice guy.
Dad's a nice guy.
But I would cheat on him.
You would? Well, of course you would.
That's the kind of guy I am. Yes.
So you've accused her of being cheating on my dad.
Yes. And you've done that one already.
Yeah, and you've also
you're doubling up on your list.
No. And you've called her a liar.
No, not a liar. No.
No?
No.
Oh.
She, people forget things.
So you're accusing her of having.
Look, I've had affairs. No, I didn't.
You have?
Well, I've had sexual intercourse with a lady.
Yeah, but not on.
And they forgot.
Not on Kate.
Not on Kate. No, never. No.
Yeah.
No.
I know you haven't. When we've been on the road, you've always. I can vouch for it. You've always been totally faithful.
Thanks, man. Thanks for backing me up on that one. Officially, you've been tempted a few times. This is true. Should I tell this story?
What story?
Where the 2 young girls who came up to you, and I'm the star of the show, and Joel is my support act, and I'm doing these wretched. Signing of books and stuff. What do you call it? Merch? The merch thing. I don't do that anymore. But these 2 girls came up to you, and they said, "Why don't we come back to my place and party?" And I'm just sitting like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
They just totally ignored me.
That's right.
And they go, "Come, and we'll have a party." And they were hot women.
One of the girls was from Next Top Model, apparently.
They were like models, man, and they're like steaming hot chicks.
Yeah.
And they came up to you and said, "Let's have a threesome."
Yes.
and within earshot
Mm-hmm.
of the star of the show, who they didn't even look at, and you said, "No, I've got a girlfriend." And
Yeah.
to your credit, that's quite, that's admirable.
Yeah.
It's noble of
Yeah.
you.
Well-
Do you regret that now?
No, because then the guilt of that, like, is like you
Yeah,
know.
I
Then you got to live
suppose.
with. I would rather live with a clean conscience than live with the guilt of,
Yes,
of
yes.
that. The rest.
You've always been
rest
about
of it. No,
delaying
but-
gratification.
Delayed gratification.
That's what
But then yeah, that was my opportunity to have a threesome. I did not.
You know how many
I did not
times
take it.
I've relived that moment and just cursed you? How
I
could?
remember she wrote out the number and said, "Well, if you change your mind." And,
Yeah, and she said, and you said, "I got a girlfriend," and she said, "Well, she's not here now. She
Yeah.
won't know."
"Yeah."
And I'm going, "Hello, star of the show. I'm the guy on the poster." Not even a look in, but that's okay. It's, I'm not bitter. I would have
No.
been happy for you,
Yeah.
but you turned them down. Not many guys would do that.
I like how you probably relive that moment more than I
Oh,
have. Like you-
every now and then I just remember that and I go, "What the?" Oh, I mean, I understand if she was your wife and you had kids and stuff.
Yeah.
I understand that, but
Yeah.
it was just, anyway, let's not get into it.
Okay.
Yeah, give me a few seconds to relive that fantasy
Yeah.
and put myself in the lead role. Oh yes, I'll take your number.
It'd be funny if you later call up and go, "Hello, this is Joel."
This is Joel. I've gotten a bit shorter and I had a burns accident. I was a burns accident, but if you're not shallow and you're still interested,
Yep.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Is that how it works out in your memory when you?
It's I've relived that moment in very different versions. Yes.
Yes.
Usually,
Well, at least someone got something out of that then.
yes, that's
So
true.
someone was a winner in that scenario.
Well, I wouldn't.
Someone.
Very sort of. I question your understanding of the word winner. Anyway.
Well,
but
so
you're an honourable man, and that's why we're friends.
Well, thank you, Saleh. You're a great friend. You always have been,
Yes.
and will always continue to be. I know that for
Yes,
sure.
absolutely.
And until next time.
Yes.
Until next week when
let's hope next week the coronavirus is proven to be a conspiracy and
Well,
not real.
Yeah.
And David Icke gets proven correct, and you'll be apologising,
Yes.
saying, "I'm sorry, I doubted you," and I'll say, "That's all right," and we'll all get back to normal.
I'll look forward to that day.
Yes.